My God, I hate drugs.
Our next question is still on China. General Bato, Pilo? Okay, sir. Magandang picture yun. Okay, it's about China. This time, let's talk about the growing presence of Chinese nationals in the country, which the Senate naman is investigating. May we invite CHEL Diokno and Glenn Chong to move up to the podium for our next face-off. Ito na po. Our unemployment rate is 5.2%. As of January this year, that totals about 2.2 million Filipinos who are actively looking for a job but can't find one. That's 2.2 million Filipinos. Here's the question, gentlemen. How do you ensure that qualified Filipino workers are not denied jobs? Let's start with CHEL Diokno.
I will add to that statistic. You know, among the youth, the unemployment rate is 3 to 4 times higher than the total unemployment rate. So yung talagang nalulugi pag binibigay natin sa ibang bansa yung mga trabaho na yan ay ang ating kabataan. Dapat talaga maayos natin itong problema. There are loopholes in the law that the government is allowing Chinese workers in through that have to be plugged. They claim that, pwede naman yan kasi meron mga regulation na nakakapasok sila on tourist visa and then later bibigyan ng permit. Bakit tayo papayag dyan? That should change. We have to give priority to our people, especially our young people. Dapat sila ang mabigyan ng prioridad sa pagbibigay ng trabaho. Alam niyo, pag sinama natin ang unemployment rate at ang underemployment rate, aabot halos sa 18% ang ating problema. At why are we going to give this to other countries when we need those jobs for our people?
So sa immigrations po, sir, no? Immigrations. Okay.
All right, Glenn Chong, go ahead, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chinese, but remember, at birth, I am not at liberty to choose my name. But now that I am of age, I am at liberty to choose where my heart will lie. And this heart lies with this country, the Republic of the Philippines. Now, with respect to this influx of Chinese, you can expect me to investigate them. I want these Chinese, if they are not qualified to work in the Philippines, they should be kicked out. No conditions. Under the labor code, meron po tayong mga conditions under which foreign workers may be allowed to work in the Philippines. But if these Chinese are not qualified, they should be kicked out of the country. No ifs, no buts. That's my sternest position on the issue.
Right. Maraming salamat. At madaming gustong sumagot dito. I just want to add something, so many people are watching us right now. We'd like to thank everyone watching us. Pia, maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. And ang dami daw nila mga comments. So candidates, galingan nyo pa.
Daming comments sa social media.
Marami
Trending.
din. Yes, that's right. So now, we go next to the people behind. Sino ho?
Ang daming
Pia, mauna ka
kamay
na.
na nakataas. Kong Gary Alejano.
The present situation is this government has adopted the quiet diplomacy. That means wala kang sasabihin, wala kang gagawin that will offend China. Kahit yung pagpunta dito sa Pilipinas, nag-hesitate ang lahat dahil China yan. That's the problem kung lumuluhod ka sa China. So ang ating dapat tingnan, makatayo tayo sa ating sariling paa para hindi dapat sunod-sunuran tayo sa China. Example sa Boracay, kinlose natin yan for the purpose na linisin. Pagbukas ng Boracay, nag-increase ng 30% ang businesses sa mga Chinese, including the workers kahit walang mga permits. Na-display sa mga Pilipino, kasama yung mga Ilonggo, Capisnon, Antiqueño, nawalan sila ng trabaho na dapat sa kanila. Pinapaabot mo sa akin, nakakalungkot na instead na matuloy yung trabaho nila, nabibigay pa sa ibang mga dayuhan, especially China. And you should remember, 3/4 ng mga nahuhuling nationals sa illegal drugs sa Pilipinas ay Chinese.
Salamat po, sir. Before we go to the next candidate to speak, we just wanted to acknowledge the presence of the chairman of the Commission on Elections, Chairman Abbas. Sir, please.
Chairman Abbas
Uy, palakpakan niyo si Chairman Abbas. Siya ang
Hindi nyo nakikita
COMELEC
yan.
chairman. Sila po ang nagbibilang ng boto ninyo. All
Pia,
right.
let's go to Samira Gutok. Go ahead, ma'am.
As a senator, you should question the executive official saying na tamad ang Pilipino. Hindi tamad ang Pilipino, skilled ang Pilipino. We are skilled and we have to fill up the vacancy that is provided right now in the country, ang daming walang trabaho. We have to protect our labor force. Preferential treatment has to be reminded. And no contract should say that ang mason, ang karpentero, ay Chinese. We need Filipinos to be carpenters. Ano ba naman yung insulto? Hindi ba tayo marunong magmason?
Good point that Samira Gutok brought up. We're going to ask Dindo Manhit to weigh in on this. How skilled are our Filipino workers? Dindo.
Thank you for... Hello?
Go ahead, go ahead.
Hello. Thank you for bringing that up, Ms. Samira. It brings to mind millions of Filipinos or overseas Filipino workers being hired all over the world. It just speaks of one thing, that these are qualified and highly skilled Filipinos. And when you look at data that shows that 47% of Filipinos, in terms of most urgent concern, is income or livelihood. And another 43% says they want job. It makes you think, why are we opening the country to foreign workers when there are enough Filipinos who are skilled and qualified to work? So I'm hoping that maybe we should ask ourselves, why do we need Chinese workers at all?
Yun ang tanong. Isa-isa, maybe, the question is, do we need Chinese?
Why do we need Chinese workers at all? I think
Okay.
that would be a good question for the other candidates who want to speak, but we're going to go first to Rafi Alunan, sir. Can you take that question from Dindo? Why do we need Chinese workers at all?
I agree with everybody. We don't need Chinese workers here because we have a large unemployment rate. And many of our regions are very poor, especially Muslim Mindanao. There's Eastern Visayas. There's also the Cordilleras. What we need to do is improve our education so that our people become employable. We should also revive our agriculture, our manufacturing, and our tourism so we can get as many jobs as possible and livelihood opportunities. Okay? Now, one thing. I'd like to add one thing. In our education, we should be multilingual. We should know Chinese, we should know Japanese, we should know English, so that we can take the place of these people who are taking out our Filipinos and Filipino-Chinese here in our own country. If you go to Binondo, marami ho nagagalit na mga Filipino-Chinese natin, mga Chinoys, sapagkat tinutulak sila ng mga mainline Chinese. If we have enough Filipinos talking and speaking in Chinese and in other languages, we'll be able to prevent foreigners from working in our country. Maraming salamat.
Salamat po, Sec Rafi. There were other hands up
Erin,
down here.
Tanyada.
Maliwanag po na ayaw natin ng mga magnanakaw. Bakit pinapayagan ng ating gobyerno na nakawin ang ating mga trabaho? Yan ang hindi po natin alam. Dahil maliwanag naman po, kung ang ating mga kontratang pinapasukan ng ating gobyerno sa bansang China ay nagpapabor sa mga manggagawang Chino, dapat labanan po natin yan. Ngayon, yung isa pang problema po natin, yung mga pumapasok dito under tourist visa. Kailangan mas mahigpit po tayo dito. May problema po tayo sa enforcement. Alam ng BID yan. Kapag makapasok na yan, hindi nila matrace kung paano nila papaalisin itong mga Chinese nationals. Kaya kailangan mahigpit po ang visa, pagbibigay ng visa sa ating mga pumapasok na Chinese. Nandiyan rin po yung usapin ng DOLE. May problema rin po sa enforcement. So, importante po yan.
Let's get Kong Glenn Chong to respond to that. Erin brought up that very important issue. Yung mga pumapasok na naka-tourist visa, sir.
Yes, we have to strengthen our immigration policies on the Chinese, on the influx of Chinese tourists. But we have to take into account also that there are legitimate Chinese tourists and they bring money into our economy. They give jobs to our people. What we have to strengthen is the enforcement of our immigration laws within the country. We have to weed them out when they have exceeded the terms of their stay in the Philippines.
Can you be more specific in enforcement of immigration law? So how do you trace them, no? Papasok ng tourist visa, kung hindi talaga turista, paano natin malalaman?
I think, ma'am, we have the existing infrastructure on immigration enforcement. We need to put in more funds for intelligence gathering and enforcement and remove them from the Philippines.
Thank you, Kong Glenn Chong. Attorney Romy Mac?
Ang ating pamahalaan ay nangako ng trabaho. Pero hindi para sa mga Pilipino. Iyon pala ay para sa mga Chino. Kaya yan ang problema ngayon sa ating bansa. Now the main question is, how do we resolve the influx of these Chinese tourists? Ang kailangan po, ihalal ninyo ang 8 diretso at tiyak, hindi po mangyayari yan. Kami ang inyong ihalal. Dapat pa bang i-memorize yan?
Salamat po,
Okay, ito
Romy
na lang.
Mac.
Last na dahil nga pinag-uusapan yung pagpasok ng illegal Chinese workers. CHEL Diokno, how can we put a stop to this?
Well, first, kikwentuhan ko kayo. Nung ako'y nagpunta sa Hong Kong, may nakausap akong Pinoy doon. Sabi niya, alam niyo, attorney, pumunta ako dito noon mga 15 years ago as isang OFW. Eh ngayon, talagang naswertehan tayo. Ako'y may isang construction business. Marami po na po ako naging manggagawa. Iba't ibang mga nationality. Ang Pinoy hindi tamad. Alam niyo yung pinakatamad, sabi niya sa akin, ang mga taga-China. Ngayon, how do we stop?
Okay, thank you. CHEL Diokno and Glenn Chong, thank you. Maraming salamat. You can go back to your seats now. Maraming salamat sa inyong dalawa.
We're going to go to a very brief break. This is a CNN Philippines special presentation. When we return, the topic will be the government's war on drugs. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.